Why, hello, 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 and welcome to this very special interview that we have put together for you here at Book Lovers TV. First, I'm going to thank you so much for watching the channel today. So pleased and excited because I have two authors on deck for you. And the topic at hand, what we're going to be chatting about today is how true to life are the technologies and AI that we read in techno thrillers. How true to life are they? And for that, I actually have two very, very popular techno thriller authors. That is Rox Burkey and Charles Breakfield, of course, the creators and authors of the famous Enigma series. I want to welcome you to the call here. And let me just put the question out. We read so much about how AI is dangerous, or that there are so many things that technology can get out of control with. What do you think? How true to life is like the stuff that you have in your books out in the real world?
Oh, Daniel, thanks for having us here. And I'm going to start this off, and I'm going to turn it over to Charles, my co-author, because he's really got more geek in him. But, I think one of the things that we have to realize is that technology is surrounding us. I mean, there isn't a person watching this that doesn't have a cell phone or a computer that they can get into, and they put all their precious information in there. And, if it's not safeguarded with really good passwords, and it's not safeguarded with, all the little kids that come through the house because everybody's staying at home, you're going to have some problems. And then all those shopping sites you go to, ooh, those can be very dangerous as well. So what we write is real, and we put it in real situations because humans mess up, to be honest.
Well, we like to stretch it just a little bit. Now, to be honest, in the techno role I'm in at my current company, I use artificial intelligence on a lot of things. Security is one of the big things right now, where I've got an application and all it does is digest all the information being fed to it. And I get to walk over and look at it and say, yeah, that's good. Ooh, that's bad. Nah, I don't care about that. And if it's single purposed, designed for a limited approach, like what kind of movie should I order? What's the next fashion design that I'm doing? Those are single purpose AI applications that people have gotten used to. But where you get in troubles where you say, hey, do some more decisions for me, do some more stuff, go learn, and this is where the danger is.
I see. The basically kind of letting it off its leash kind of thing, and letting it go wild. It sounds like.
Well, there's been a couple of famous efforts, and by the one that pops to mind was Microsoft. They said, "Hey, let's turn loose one of our supercomputers and give him AI capabilities, okay, and deep machine learning." They turned it on
on social media.
On social media.
On social media.
In the 24 hours, they had to unplug it. It had gone nuts. It had picked up every ugly thing that we've learned to put up with, but it was consuming it at an alarming rate and spewing it back out to the developers, and they got terrified. They just like, so we took that premise and said, what if it gets away? What if? That's what
my. Mamma mia.
So I have a really fun example, Daniel. So we were at some book fair, right? And we have all these people walking around the book fair, and it's wonderful. We're meeting folks. Some little girl lays her i10 phone at the retail price of $1,000 down on our table and walks away. Got distracted by somebody and walks away. So we pick it up, and it's like, totally available and open. Oh gosh, your credit cards were on there, and I could have gone over and just credit carded anything. Like 16 years old, $1,000 phone, no responsibility,
no password, nothing. And it's like And in a couple of minutes, the phone chirped, and she's running around. We see her running around from table to table. And 20 minutes later, petitioning people. Have you seen my phone? Has it called to you? I'm like, lady, get a grip. So we gave it back to her good naturedly, but she's got a whole bunch of selfies of us on her phone.
And we did force her to put a password on it.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. It just kind of boggles the mind what you can do with technology for good and for bad, I suppose. And that's one of the things that I wanted to kind of chat with you about as well, because you have a lot of these sort of good versus bad and good versus bad uses of technology that kind of runs throughout your Enigma series. And I wanted to kind of turn the corner and chat a little bit about some of your books. I know that the Enigma Beyond was one of your, I think, the second book in your series. Is that right?
Nope. Enigma Beyond is the most recent book.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Enigma Rising is actually the second book.
Oh, okay. So in any event, tell us, sort of take us through the sequence of the Enigma series, sort of create the universe for us. You don't have to necessarily tell us the story, but kind of give us the backstory of this really cool universe that you created for your series.
Okay, well, we built on the foundation of technical progress, and if you start on the first book, we launch into some of the tech vectors like identity theft. Then we move on to the second book. We've got a couple of our favorite bad boys that have learned to be able to cloak their illegal operations from satellite surveillance, which is a new subject of interest for me. We take a different threat vector and explore it, stretch it, take it to a level that's well, quite out of bounds. I mean, it's a couple of things we've predicted, like in the cryptocurrency wars. Venezuela taking on cryptocurrency for solving a lot of their economic problems. So we're not too far behind the curve on some of these things that are, they look outrageous, but it's
happening.
And it is real technology. I mean, we don't pull any punches, and it's not really science fiction. It's science fact in a fictional setting. So, it's the traditional, we have the cyber good guys with their capes, and they come in and they secure a lot of different things and help people from shooting themselves in the foot with technology. And then we got the bad actors, the thugs, the cruds, and all of those people that, sometimes they die. In writing books, Daniel, we can whack them and not go to jail.
The bad guys always start off ahead of the good guys. And that's, in my world, you're always one step behind the technology as your adversary. That sounds silly, but the technical people that I work with all the time, they're always like screaming, how did these guys get in? How did they poison my system? How do I defend against that? And so we're always playing cat and mouse, and we're always behind the bad actors. They're always ahead of the game. They're just in the back room, just thinking stuff up, and hacking in systems. And it's like, okay, how do we fix this one? How do we solve that problem? So we see that, and we help package it into believable stories that are fun to read.
Absolutely. And you mentioned, working for different companies and so forth. Tell folks kind of where your background is, or what is your background that kind of gives rise to the knowledge that you have and instill in your books.
Okay. Well, for me, I've been in the telephony and data world since the first part of this century. So anything that's got bits and bytes, ones and zeros, hosted, cloud, and of course, anything that is not on premises, which is where everybody's leaving from, and putting it into the cloud, how to secure that and all of the attack vectors, that all shows up on my radar screen. It's all, I find interesting stuff. And it's like a, a research paper I'm working on all my life. So I get this cool stuff. I see something like, wow, I never would have thought to be able to break stuff there. And I've got this new idea that I want to be able to spring on my managers that says, hey, this new product we rolled out, in this attribute here that I think we can sell. So I get to see all the stuff. It's like new toys I bring home, and I show them to her, and she goes, wow, I'd have never thought of that.
And I too have, 25 plus years in technology, but I have a focus on customer experience. And if you look around the world today, that focus on customer experience is trying to make things more what they call frictionless and easier and that sort of thing, which really puts people right in the middle of machine learning and artificial intelligence, and which is good. It can make things easier, but machines have no conscience.
Ooh, that is scary.
Yeah.
that is scary. And, I wonder, is AI capable of developing conscience?
That's a very difficult question. I mean, at some point you can say, with enough information, you can start making value judgments. I mean, in our HR departments nowadays, you don't get your resume in front of a human being until after the AI applications have gone through it. They are scanning that stuff. And reason being, you get 1,200 resumes for a single position. Nobody's going to read all that. So they feed them into to the machinery, and they help look for things that, and if they're programmed correctly, they'll keep your biases out of it. And the theory is that you'll actually hire better. A little intimidating to know that my resume got chopped through an AI machine, and hey, this guy looks pretty good. Bring him on. Okay, it worked to my advantage, but gee, how do you? That world has changed, and I didn't even hear about it until I was reading about it in an article.
And one of the things that you brought up is something that we actually play with in the book and have from book one, and that is we have our own good guy supercomputer.
Ichabod, yeah.
And our good guy supercomputer has been taught and learned and modified, and guardrails and all of the attributes to keep it on the rails, doing the job it's designed to do, but also trying to develop the conscience in it. And so that's something that we actually write about to see if it's possible with some of the new softwares and some of the new capabilities and learning.
Yeah.
Learning from the right places, just like kids learn, right? They learn from their parents. If their parents are good, they do a good job. If the parents are bad, well, fills the jails.
Yeah.
Right. Interesting. So, that's the other thing too. It sounds like that if you knew what you were doing with your resume or your application, that you could actually potentially game the system and get the job, or at least, get put on top of the stack, but based on how you filled out the application. Did I hear that right?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's one, some of your seminars, you bring people on and said, okay, here's how you alter the search results in Amazon for book. And so I play with that algorithm all the time. Okay, how about this word? What does this do? Okay, what about that one? Let's pull this one out, put this one online. And you're looking for the right combination. And the right combination is only good for a limited amount of time, because it's always changing, like in the technology world. So there's a point, excellent point there from Amazon's book search criteria. They're tweaking it all the time, trying to make it more fair, more realistic, more judicious, whatever adjective you want to be able to do. But at the same time, it's the gamesmanship that people are sometimes drawn to. I can juice the system in my favor, and
how easily can you take that gaming kind of system and get somebody who owns that machine to alter it because they want financial gains. Gosh, would Amazon want to make more money?
That's right. That's right. And and again, scary stuff that we need to be obviously very, very cognizant of and have a watchful eye so it doesn't get away.
Exactly.
And that's one of the things that I did want to kind of swing back around on is you mentioned that central to most of your stories is a supercomputer that you named Ichabod, right?
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is when I read the book, that there's actually a reason why you named this series the Enigma series. Could you share that with us?
Absolutely. So what happens? We start the I guess the mythology of the series begins with the German invasion of Poland in 1939. The Germans rushed in so quickly that the German ambassador didn't get a chance to destroy his Enigma machine, an encryption device to be able to cloak battle plans, the communication between Berlin and wherever the other endpoint was. And so we postulate the Poles grabbed it, put the original on the last plane to Great Britain, where it was taken to Bletchley Park and eventually decrypted by Alan Turing and company. But they made a copy, and then they escaped to Switzerland to learn its secrets and fight for justice throughout the digital world. This is the beginning of the computer age. This is the beginning of cell phones, communications, because nothing in that I work on doesn't get encrypted, and it gets encrypted for reasons so other people can't eavesdrop on what's going on. So fast forward to today, the third generation of the R group is what we brand them as. They've taken this knowledge and this moral obligation to be able to defend the planet against the cyber bad guys from the dark net.
Awesome. Yeah, I just kind of I dig that. That's why I wanted you to tell the story, because it's such a cool universe that you kind of start from. And I know that you have is it the Enigma Rising that's coming out or being reissued? Is that right?
Yeah, it is, Daniel. So we realized after writing 11 books that we probably have learned something about writing. And so we wanted to go back through and do a full edit, make some changes, make it a better read for people. And so we decided to go through it and overhaul it and run a second edition. And that second edition is actually on Amazon now for pre-order for 99 cents until its formal release on June the 5th as a second edition. So it's a new cover, new interior, new look and feel to it. So we're real positive about it.
Yeah. It was a polishing effort that we promised. We think we can make this a better read and more intoxicating for the reader. So we're quite proud of this release.
So yeah, to sort of set this up for folks, what is the Enigma Rising all about?
Well, it's got some of our richest characters, our favorite bad boys, for instance, Juan and Carlos. They're black sheep. Okay, let's be honest here. I like the way Roxanne describes them. They're the kind of men that mothers warn their daughters not to date.
Always stay away from them.
But they're so engaging. They're
they're bad boys, so they're cute, they're sexy, they're wonderful guys, and they're smart, and they're stealing stuff, and they're helping their family and friends that are drug lords escape prosecution and end up crossing paths with
the R group.
The R group. In between, we have a missing heiress who could go one way or the other on her life, and so it's the stolen satellite signals, the R group trying to track the heiress, and those paths cross and collide, and you got a problem. You got to fix it.
Awesome. So at any rate, what I've done is I want folks to check that out if you're interested in this sort of thing. If you just point your camera phone right at that QR code, it will take you directly over to where you can grab the book right now. And I also wanted to kind of turn the corner here and talking about another book in your Enigma series that recently came out, and I believe that one's called the Enigma Beyond. Can you give us sort of a little log line about what that one is about and kind of where it fits in the series?
Well, yeah, it's the full title is the Enigma Beyond: Who Won the AI Wars? And what we do is we basically stretch the fabric of the supercomputers. They're enhanced with their artificial intelligence, driven by maniacal individuals who have ulterior motives for the planet. And so it becomes again, the bad guys have the upper hand. They're crushing some of their competitors. They're manipulating the economics, and then looking to be able to grab the newest generation of satellite protection, if you will, that orbiting the planet. And it's the bad guys who are down and out, struggling to try to be able to figure out, where is this coming from? How do we stop it? And how do we put the clock back where the world is sane again?
So it's the most recent book in the series that's been released, Daniel. And it really is an AI war, whether you have the AIs that are they omnipotent at this point? And we have drones in here, and we want to make certain that the artificial intelligence, the machine learning, how much control they have. And that's really what this book focuses on. And who's got the control? Does mankind and humans have the control, or do machines have the control?
Yeah, that's the ultimate goal we want to be able to exploit and say, okay, you can be this close and still lose, or you can be this close and come out ahead. So we'll leave it at that.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, if you want to know more, this is the place to go get it. Point your phone camera right here at this QR code. It'll take you over where you can grab this great read. And actually, you can check out all of the Enigma series. If you are into techno thrillers, if you enjoy those kinds of books, this is a great series to get involved with. And this is really my last question for you, Rox and Charles. Who did you, when you sat down to write this series, who did you have in mind would read it, would enjoy it?
I think the primary people that we targeted for was people that are like mid-20s and above. Anyone that has played with or used technology may find a relevant element within the stories that they can pick up on, or they may find a way of learning where technology came from. So, the books contain the layer of technology, a little bit of travel, a little bit of humor, some romance, and it just is, each book is written to be independent, but when you read the series, it's much richer.
Well, we have a lot of, we've been on travel a lot around the planet. We were dispatched to Brazil to work on some stuff down there, and we see these places, we meet these people, and we get rich ideas from the international travel that we've done. And it's we actually had somebody say, your books, they're all over the place. I mean, I got somebody here, I got somebody there, we got people in Argentina, we've got Australia, Europe, and so we try to have that international flavor to it, so it's not just U.S. centric, which does help our our sales in Europe because it doesn't have an American tint to it, to the point that nobody else on the planet exists.
Awesome. Well, with that, folks, I want to thank you, number one, for taking the time to chat here on Book Lovers TV. For those folks watching, I'll give you the chance to point your camera phone, so get them ready. If you are interested in this book, Get the Enigma Rising, again, that you could grab it right there. Of course, it is available wherever books are sold as well. And here is the QR code for the Enigma Beyond. So there's some cool technology to go buy your book there, folks. QR codes. So with that, I really appreciate you taking the time, Rox and Charles. Go grab this book. Get all of them in the series. You'll love it.
Right.
Daniel, thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
Really
Daniel.
appreciate your time.
Yeah.
You're awesome. This show is awesome. I hope that more people subscribe to it all the time.
Yeah.
You
As do I, and they are. So that's the other thing. If you are watching and you have not yet rated the channel, go ahead and do that right now. We'd really appreciate it, and sure could use your support. So with that, catch you later.
Thanks all.